I've been a search and rescue officer in the Pacific Northwest for 10 years. You learn quickly that the forest doesn't care about you. It's vast, it's silent, and it eats people. Most calls are simple. A hiker twists an ankle. A family gets turned around on the trail. But sometimes we get the category for calls. That's our code for something isn't right. It was late October. Cold rain was stripping the last leaves off the maples. The call came in at 4 p.m. A 10-year-old boy named Toby had vanished from his family's campsite near Ridgeline 4. He had been gone for 3 hours. In these temperatures, hypothermia sets in fast. I grabbed my pack, my radio, and my dog, Buster, a German Shepherd, who has found more people than I can count. We hiked out. The woods were unnaturally quiet. No birds, no wind. Buster was acting weird. Usually, he's nose to the ground, eager. Tonight, he was whining. He kept stopping and looking back at me, his ears pinned flat against his skull. "What is it, boy?" I whispered. He growled low in his throat, staring into a dense patch of ferns. I shined my flashlight. Hanging from a branch, about 7 feet off the ground, was a child's shoe, a red sneaker. It wasn't dropped. It was tied there, by the laces. "Dispatch, this is Unit 1, I radioed. "I found a shoe, grid SIF. It's high up. Copy, Unit 1, dispatch crackled. "Proceed with caution. Weather is turning." I pushed deeper into the brush. That's when I saw him, sitting on a mossy log, back to me, facing a dark ravine. A small boy in a blue jacket. "Toby," I called out. He didn't move. He didn't flinch. "Toby, it's okay. I'm a police officer." I walked around to face him. He looked up. It was him. Same blonde hair, same blue jacket. But he wasn't crying. He wasn't shivering. He was smiling. A wide, calm smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Hi," he said. His voice was flat, like a recording. "Hey, buddy," I said, crouching down. "You gave your parents a big scare. Are you hurt?" "No," Toby said. "You cold?" "No." I touched his hand to check his temperature. His skin wasn't cold. It was hot. Burning hot, like he had a fever of 105, but he wasn't sweating. "Okay, let's get you home," I said. I reached for my radio to call it in. "Dispatch, I have the subject. Grid 5, he is conscious and ambulatory. We are walking out. Copy, Unit 1, good work." I stood up. "Come on, Toby." He stood up, but the way he stood up was fluid. He didn't use his hands to push off the log. He just uncoiled, like a snake rising. And then there was Buster. My dog, my brave, loyal dog would not come near the kid. Buster was 20 feet back, hackles raised, teeth bared. He was snarling. "Buster, heel," I commanded. Buster barked a sharp, terrified sound and then he bolted. He ran away, back toward the trailhead. "Buster," I yelled. Toby watched the dog run. He tilted his head. "Dog," Toby said. "Yeah, sorry about him," I muttered. "He's acting strange." "Dog knows," Toby whispered. "Knows what?" Toby didn't answer. He just started walking down the trail, but his gait was wrong. His knees, they seemed to bend slightly, too far backward. Just a fraction, but enough to make him look like a marionette. I shook my head. Just the shadows, just the stress. We walked for 20 minutes. The woods got darker. Toby didn't speak. He didn't stumble. He glided over roots and rocks that I was tripping over. My radio crackled to life. Unit 1, this is Unit 4. Over. It was Miller, another SAR officer, searching the riverbank about 2 miles east. Go ahead, Miller, I said, keeping an eye on Toby's back. Unit E. Are you sure you have the subject? Affirmative. He's right here with me. We are heading to the LZ. There was a long pause on the radio. Static. Unit 1. Miller's voice was shaking. You need to stop. We found him. I stopped walking. Say again. We found Toby in the river. He's deceased, Ben. He's been in the water for hours. We have the body. The world stopped spinning. The air left my lungs. That's impossible, I whispered. I'm looking right at him. Ben Miller yelled over the radio. Get away from it. Whatever you are with, it isn't Toby. I looked up. The boy had stopped walking. He was standing about 10 feet ahead of me on the trail. He hadn't turned around. Toby, I said, my hand drifting to the bear spray on my belt. The boy spoke, but it wasn't his voice anymore. It was Miller's voice. Get away from it. Whatever you are with, it isn't Toby. He mimicked the radio call perfectly. Then he mimicked the sound of the static. Slowly, the thing wearing the blue jacket turned around. It was still smiling, but the smile was wider now, too wide. It stretched past the cheeks, almost to the ears. Found, it said, dot. Then its jaw unhinged. The skin of the boy's face began to ripple. It looked like a wetsuit being taken off. The Toby disguise split down the center of the forehead. Underneath, there was no skull. There was just wet, gray muscle and eyes that shone like searchlights. I reacted. I pulled the bear spray and fired a cloud of red pepper mist directly into its face. It shrieked. It wasn't a human scream. It sounded like a mountain lion crossed with a crying baby. It thrashed, its limbs elongating, snapping the child's clothes. The blue jacket shredded as massive, pale arms burst out. I turned and ran. I ran blindly into the dark woods. I didn't care about the trail. I just needed to get away. Behind me, I heard it crashing through the brush. It was heavy, and it was fast. It was taunting me. From the darkness, I heard my own voice echoing back at me. Toby, are you okay? Toby, it was learning. It was recording. I slid down a muddy embankment, crashing into a creek bed. I scrambled under a fallen log, burying myself in the mud and dead leaves. I held my breath. The crashing footsteps stopped right above me. I saw its feet. They were pale, hairless, with long black claws. It paced back and forth on the log. It dripped a thick, black saliva onto the leaves, inches from my face. It stood there for what felt like an hour. Finally, it let out one last sound. It mimicked the bark of my dog, Buster, a pained, dying yelp. Then it ran off into the night. I waited until sunrise before I moved. I walked out of the woods, shivering, covered in mud. I found the command post. Miller looked at me like he was seeing a ghost. We thought you were dead, he said. We heard screaming. I found him, I whispered. I found the thing that looked like him. They recovered the real Toby's body from the river. It was a tragic accident, drowning. That was the official report. But they never found my dog. 3 days later, I was packing up my gear at home. I live near the edge of the forest. It was night. I heard scratching at my back door. Buster, I thought, my heart leaping. I ran to the door. I looked through the peephole. It was Buster. He was sitting on the porch, wagging his tail. I reached for the lock, then I stopped. Buster wasn't sitting right. His front legs were wrong. They were bent backwards. And when he looked up at the peephole, his eyes weren't brown. They were glowing searchlight white. He opened his mouth. Get away from it. Whatever you are with, it isn't Toby, the dog spoke in Miller's voice. I backed away and locked the deadbolt. I nailed boards over the door. I moved to the city the next day, but sometimes, late at night, I hear scratching at my apartment door, and a voice that sounds exactly like mine asking to be let in.